Now, the Metalworkers Union, NUMSA, and the South African Cabin Crew Association have managed to stop the retrenchment process at the South African Airways for now. The Labour Court has ordered the business rescue practitioners at SAA to withdraw their retrenchment consultation notices, and the court ruled that the issue of the notices was procedurally unfair. For more on this, we're now joined via Skype by the president of the South African Cabin Crew Association. Zazi, thanks so much indeed for joining us and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, so you must be delighted that a stay of execution was granted to you.
No, absolutely. I think we are very happy, and we also are, we feel very vindicated because we've been saying this all along, that the business rescue practitioners have been unable to provide a plan, and the court has ruled in our favour.
All right, so what does it mean for you, though? Is this a delay, or do you think that this is now an alternative path that's unfolding?
No, I mean, we're aware that there's still a long road to go, and there's lots of work that needs to be done. But I think we're calling on the BRPs to join the leadership compact, and let's collectively look at how we can really rescue the business. And we shouldn't be opposing each other. We should be working together for the end goal of saving SAA in a new form, and obviously with a new and capable leadership, including Express and, of course, maybe Mango. So they should join us, and we should, walk this path collectively.
All right. The way I understand the judgment, it was more about procedure than substance. So are you not fearful that the business rescue practitioners will go ahead and follow the procedures properly, and you'll be back at square one?
No, look, I mean, if we follow the procedures properly, then they then would have come up with a plan. We would be fully involved and consulted in this particular plan, so we'd know exactly what's going to happen. And should it mean, we have to take certain decisions, that we'll take them after we've been meaningfully consulted. And that's what we've been asking for all along. I mean, the business rescue practitioners came in December. They firstly asked for 2 billion. That number quickly went up to 4. The government gave them 5.5. And, there's still no plan on the table. I mean, it's ridiculous. But, I think if their intentions are pure and their intentions are really to save SAA, they should join us in this leadership compact with the DPE.
All right, let's talk about a way forward. What can be done? I mean, we're in a COVID-19 environment. Airlines across the world are under pressure. Some of them will never come back, and a lot of them bigger than SAA. Can you actually resurrect post-COVID-19?
We absolutely believe that we can. I mean, you have to appreciate the fact that aviation is in crisis, like many other sectors. And we believe right now we are on an equal playing ground with, the other players in the market. So this is the time for SAA in whatever form to shine. And obviously, we're looking at incorporating a mixed gauge sort of approach with Express and Mango, and sort of look to a more solidified future. And of course, we're not disregarding. I mean, we've had to, accept the fact that we need to really bring on board a strategic equity partner, of course, with government being the majority shareholder. And we've accepted that. And we are open, and we believe that there are people that are interested. And we're walking this path. And we absolutely believe SAA in this new form with a combination of Express will work.
All right, so the talk that we're hearing is that it will be a leaner machine. Does that mean that the unions will accept the reality or possibility that some jobs might have to be lost?
No, I mean, in this compact, we obviously going through and working on a plan, which the BRP should have done. And within the compact, we're obviously looking at a possible, scenario where there will be job losses, and we're obviously building various ways to mitigate that. And of course, we accept that not every one of our members will survive. But then we're also looking at various options, such as early retirement, possible funding on VSPs, and we're working on a very comprehensive social plan. So we believe we are mitigating that, and we do accept that we cannot retain all the staff at SAA.
All right, so the Minister of Public Enterprises seems to be trying to work with you, but we get sometimes another message or signal from the Minister of Finance, almost suggesting that we just don't have money to keep on bailing out SAA. What's your understanding of where you are with government and its different voices?
Well, we've always struggled with the comments from the Minister of Finance. But I think the process that we're in with the DPE is one where we understand what we're all doing collectively. I think we understand that the DPE does not want to see the liquidation of South African Airways. So I think there must be some sort of conversation happening between the two, which we're not privy to. But I think we've gotten a firm commitment, and I'm sure you've heard from what the minister said just 2 days ago. I think there is a firm commitment, and we are in that process, and we're giving it our all. It's actually moving at a very fast rate, and we believe it will work. And I believe that there is. I mean, the Minister of Finance has also said that he's looking for a better SAA, or a better new airline, he said. And I think what he means is SAA in a new form. And that's exactly what we're doing.
All right. The aviation analysts will say that it could take 12 to 18 months before you start getting meaningful payloads, the right number of passengers to make the airline profitable. In the meantime, somebody has to bail you out. And I wonder, is it fair to ask the taxpayers of South Africa to keep spending their money on SAA instead of building schools and other very much needed infrastructure?
Yes, I think, we have a long history of bailouts and a combination of guarantees, which have actually plunged SAA into a bigger disaster, where basically every cent that we're getting was going on to pay the interest of very, very huge debt. So I think this is an opportunity, as for us to start again. We believe that SAA is a strategic asset, and we believe post-COVID, other airlines are doing wonderful things in terms of cargo, and we're looking at this mixed gauge model with Express, so that we take into account, when we get out of the lockdown, that the passenger loads will be less, and hence we incorporating Express, where we have, we can mitigate that particular factor. So look, the history's there. There's a history of also corruption. There's a history. There's many things that have happened. There's also the developmental plans that have not necessarily gone well. We've flown routes that we were not necessarily meant to fly. But I think this process is actually creating a viable, competitive machine. And we believe it can actually stop the issue of being bailed out continuously and can actually stand on its own.
All right. So earlier in the week, I spoke to the president of the National Transport Movement, and I'm just wondering, they've broken ranks with your two unions, you alongside NUMSA, and they were quite happy with what the business rescue practitioners put on the table. What is it that they can't see that you can see that you decided you're not going to sign?
We've asked ourselves that time and time again. NUMSA and SACCA are simply acting for the interest of our members, and we were not simply willing to, celebrate the demise of SAA. And I think we are willing to put in the work and fight for the fact that we need to get together meaningfully and find a way to rescue the entity. So I don't know what they're seeing that we're not seeing. The collective agreement was a sham in our eyes. It basically meant SAA will be sold off. Business rescue practitioners would get paid first, and whatever's left a year or two later, employees would get a week if they get it, depending on how that goes. So for us, that is not in the interest of our members, although we accept at some point we're going to have to look at the issue of the jobs, but we're not there yet. I think we need a plan. We need to understand what the plan is. And once we are there, then we can start to talk about what are the numbers that need to go and start to grapple with that. But we don't know what NTM, why they bought into that particular notion.
All right. Is this not a gamble that you're taking? Because if it turns out that government has no money and that all bets are off, you might walk away with a liquidated airline with nothing in hand.
No, but I think, Peter, I've said before, I think the way we're not actually looking at is that there is room for a strategic equity partner, and we know there are many interested parties. So I think it's not just a one-horse race with the government, but it's also we're looking at various options within this leadership compact. And even if that was not the case, that particular collective agreement was not going to suit our members. It was not going to suit them sustaining themselves. And worse off, we cannot be seen to contribute to the very high unemployment rate South Africa finds itself in. And if there's a way to mitigate that, we'll do whatever it takes.
All right. Okay. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Let's hope that a solution can be found. Thanks so much indeed, and good luck.
Thank you, Peter.